drive our collective response as a people to this pandemic.
The NDC, meanwhile, wants a decentralized approach to the pandemic as national chairman calls on President Akufo-Addo to grant amnesty to radio stations closed down in the country.
And in our effort to ensure that we reach out to the majority of our countrymen and women, I'm appealing to Your Excellency to grant amnesty and get these radio stations that have been closed down to use their frequencies and which are not being used to reach out to the people and to reach out to them in various languages.
We have details of that and more coming up. Top stories brought to you by Bond Savings and Loans. Your success, our passion. Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready? And Gassim, the nation builder. My name is Gifty Andoh-Appiah. Tonight, President Akufo-Addo is asking the various political parties to unite in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic as Ghana records 204 cases with 5 deaths whilst 2 others remain in critical condition whilst dozens have been treated and discharged. Today at the Jubilee House, representatives of the governing NPP, the opposition NDC, PPP, NDP, CPP and the PNC met the President to discuss measures taken so far and ways to improve on them. President Akufo-Addo said the seriousness of the issue at hand makes it imperative for the country to work together regardless of political affiliation to overcome.
First of all, let me welcome all of you very warmly to the seat of the presidency of our country, to Jubilee House, and also to express my gratitude, to thank you for responding so very quickly to my invitation for us to have this meeting. I've been meeting various constituencies in the country, but consultations across the nation could not be complete without also meeting and talking with the political leaders of our nation, especially at this critical moment when we are, like all the countries of the world, having to confront this new menace to the survival of our population and its health and welfare. And it is essentially for us to have an opportunity to exchange information with each other, and more than anything else, to agree on the measures that we can take as political leaders to ensure the unity of our nation at this critical time, and to stress the need for solidarity amongst ourselves. Because the example of our own country, the example of countries around the world which we're all familiar with, the disease doesn't have a political color. It doesn't know Democrats or Republicans or Tories or Labour or NDC or MPP. It's attacking human beings. I think that recognition is what should drive our collective response as a people to this pandemic. So this is the reason I called you. We are not, well, some of us certainly are not technical people, are not doctors. We are not in a position to give long exegeses on the origins of the disease or the measures that can be taken to be. But we are community leaders, we are political leaders. And the threat that abounds in this virus is a threat to our communities, to our society, to our nation. And we should be able collectively to find an input as to the measures that on a social, societal basis that can be taken to arrest the spread and ultimately lead to the defeat of this pandemic.
That is President Akufo-Addo a while ago at the Jubilee House when he met with leaders of the political parties. Let's go on the line now. Elton Brobe is Presidential Affairs Correspondent. He joins me from that meeting. Hello, Elton.
Yes, Gifty.
Elton, has the meeting ended?
Yes, it has ended, and they've all departed the Jubilee House.
Now let's look at the issues that came up. We've indicated, the parties that were present: NDC, NPP, NDP, CPP, PNC. It's interesting how they were able to get all of them together today to assemble at the Jubilee House.
Well, I'm sure it has more to do with the seriousness of what we are dealing with in Ghana and indeed globally. And government, like you play the president voice, is looking at getting everybody on board, unity in oneness, so that collectively the nation can stand to defeat this virus, which according to the president, there is a common enemy which doesn't know any political color, and that conviction should put all Ghanaians together to deal with this particular matter. The NDC, I'm sure you're aware, in days gone by, had put together a technical team headed by Mr. Prosabani, who is a former Chief of Staff and a former Interior Minister. He was part of this meeting on the NDC side, together with the National Chairman of the party, Bishop Oswampofo, Dr. Andoh-Appiah, a former General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association. Even before Mr. Oswampofo will speak, he presented to the President the NDC's own strategies they think that if government should adopt and implement will help deal with this particular matter. So he presented this document to the President and then went on to make his remarks. For Mr. Oswampofo, government must seriously consider decentralizing the approach to this particular matter. And in his, proposal, he encouraged the president to set up emergency response team in all the regions, in the districts, in the metro and the municipal areas, such that they will be in readiness to confront any possible outbreak of this case beyond the lockdown areas. And if this happens, the response team will be in a better position to provide first-hand attempts in dealing with it before you now get to deal with the panic and the fear that appears to have engulfed the people. And if this works, then Ghana will be one step ahead in arresting and combating this virus. We can listen to him more on this.
Your Excellency, a situation where people who are fleeing from Accra will be met at Ejiso by a municipal chief executive and be asked to come back. It's not a healthy situation. We believe that if we have structures and systems in place, the district response teams should have put in measures to curtail, contain the people. KRCC is there to support them in testing, provide them with shelter, so that their movement to and from Accra back would have been averted. And that is why we are calling for a district and local mitigation approach. Your Excellency, I don't know whether the regional coordinating councils have met, but if you look at the composition of the regional coordinating councils, it is made up of 2 representatives of each of the regional houses of chiefs. And indeed, community action, the traditional authorities have a role to play. And for that matter, my suggestion, or our suggestion, is we need to integrate our community leaders and traditional authorities in the effort to mitigate the effect of this pandemic